the way. So welcome everyone. My name is Juliet John Iang, and I'm the co-founder at Academic Hive for African Scholars. With me today is our beautiful Esther Eshiet, who is a guest today. And we want to talk about how to earn a distinction in your dissertation. Yeah, so I'm really excited about today's session, actually. So Esther, we are happy to have you here. So before we go into some proper introduction, I'd like to mention that Academic Hive is a research community that's committed to improving and building the capacity of early career researchers and graduate students. So we are committed to making sure that if it is your dissertation, you can ace it. If it's your research work, you have all the necessary resources you need to do an excellent research work. And so today we have Esther Eshiet, and Esther is going to be telling us a little bit about herself, as well as how we can earn distinction in our dissertation. So we know very well that in our community at Academic High, we have a lot of graduate students, and people are undertaking graduate studies, not necessarily because they want to just go through graduate school. While you're in graduate school, it's important that your dissertation or your research or your project or your thesis, whatever it is that's called in your institution, is top-notch. You want to come out or graduate with your head up high there, you feel very proud of your research work. How do we do this? Is it possible to actually earn a distinction in your dissertation? I bet you would agree that the best person to be with us here to talk to us about how we can achieve this is no other than someone who have actually walked that path. And here with us is Esther Eshiet, who has actually walked that path. And guess what? Scored over 90% in her dissertation. Oh my God, how amazing is that? Okay, so before I start preaching and the hype in Esther, we have you on the floor already. Please, let's get to meet you, Esther. So can we meet you? Just tell us a little bit about yourself, your institution, and maybe your research.
Thank you so much, Juliet. Thank you so much for having me. It's really a pleasure to be here. I'm definitely part of the Academic Hive community, and it's really a good supportive system, supportive network to be a part of for every young professional who is interested in research or who is interested in academic work. It's really a pleasure. So thank you so much for having me. Like Juliet said already, my name is Esther Eshiet. I am a social worker, a professional social worker, and then I recently decided to upgrade my skills and to actually take on a postgraduate study. And I'm very thankful to God for the grace and the open doors that He gave me to be able to do that. And also, most recently, actually, I graduated, like Juliet said, with a distinction from my master's. And I had a distinction in my dissertation, and hence why I'm here to actually share my experience and to talk about it. So I graduated from a master's in international development and from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, and I'm pretty excited about the opportunity to share my research journey with other researchers or other people who are either going through their dissertation right now or actually at the stage of writing and submitting, or actually thinking about it. Should I not do it? So I'm actually here to share my story with you, and also to just give a few tips that actually helped me in this journey. And and I look forward to the conversation, the questions. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, are you there? I think
yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh,
okay, great. All right. So thank you, Esther, for that amazing introduction. I mean, no one can actually introduce any other person better than himself or herself, right? Okay, great. So we do not intend to spend so much time. We'll just get into it immediately. Yeah. So Esther, it's really amazing to meet you and knowing that you worked on your research yourself, and I mean you made it to distinction, not just merit, not I mean having over 90 is just so super amazing. Actually, it's so super amazing. Yeah. So for your research, people may be interested to know what you researched on. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Juliet. I think it's easier to talk about the research now, but when I was actually going through the process, it was quite very painful and and exhausting. And I kept asking myself, why am I putting myself through this type of pressure? Why must I always take, the hard way, the long road, when there are shortcuts and, when there's easy walk, but life, requires that you go through experiences that actually shape you and shape your skill set and shape you and prepare you for the future. That's really the whole objective of having to, to upgrade your skill, from where you were or what you've known, before now. So I would say my research was actually built to understand user participation. So when people whether you look at them as citizens or beneficiaries of programs or people, community members and all that, when people are involved in community projects or projects generally, how are they involved? How do they participate in this type of project? How are they involved in decision making? How are they involved in what specifically constitutes their participation in this project? So I was actually looking at a community project that was funded with foreign aid. So my research was basically set out to achieve two things. One, to understand the participation of the users, who are, in this case, the beneficiaries of the project, in quotes, if we are using like colonizing terms, like beneficiaries. So I was looking at the users that participate in these projects. How exactly do they participate, and in what stage of the projects do they get involved? And I was also looking at understanding the continuity of this project. So how sustainable was this project, and what components of it was sustainable? What components of it is still going on now that the foreign aid has ended? The program was funded by another country, and so I was trying to understand what exactly, in this whole program that has been funded, what components of this is still running, and how exactly is it still running, or if not, if it's not running, why, and if it's running, why, and how is it currently running? So my research was established to sort out those two things. One, to understand the sustainability of this foreign aid funded program after the foreign aid has stopped, and then to also understand how the beneficiaries of this program participated in the program when it was being run by foreign aid, and also now that the foreign aid has actually finished, how are the users of the program, the participants, how are they actually participating? So that was actually my research.
Yeah. Okay, great, thank you. I know that if you're given the whole day, you can talk about your research, like that's really what happens when you really enjoy your research. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that piece with us. But just to put it within the context of this interview, how would you say, or what kind of research, what design did you use? Were you working more on quantitative method, qualitative, or mixed?
Okay, so I actually used a multi-method or mixed method. Some people would say, it's still an argument in literature. I actually used, a mixed method or a multi-method research design, where I actually combine qualitative and quantitative research methods. I for the one, of course, obviously was quantitative, and then for the qualitative, I actually combined two different qualitative methods. I used focus group discussions as well as key informant interviews for the qualitative. So, of course, for the quantitative, I used surveys. So I combined all three methods to derive the data that I needed from the field, and to be able to take that data forward to actually understand and interpret it, and analyze and interpret and understand what it meant, and then be able to communicate that in the research outcomes.
Wow, great. All three methods, a multi-method. I mean, wow, that's a lot that's a PhD dissertation, actually, if you ask me. Okay. All right. So then we understand that dissertations are not usually, no matter how simple or how interesting this is sounding right now, we know very well that this was not a walk in the park. So we know that dissertations are not just one-time exercise, you just jump up and do them. No. So can you let in on what an A student should do, at different points of their dissertation? So we want to know, like, before, okay, let's say I have a dissertation to undertake. If I want to ace my dissertation, if I want to earn a distinction in my dissertation, what should I do? Should I be looking, what should I do before I start researching? What should I do during my research or while writing? And what should I do just right after completing my research? So we'd just like to see from your experience what we should do at different points in time. So let's start with before. So what do you think, or what would you advise an A student to do just maybe at the start of their dissertation, just before they get into it?
Okay. Thank you, Juliet. Okay, I would first of all say, number one, the first thing to do is actually to try to figure out your research topic. Again, it's also even not a walk in the park. It's a lot of work. So you need to first of all identify what topic excites me. Like what am I interested in? What do I want to research on? What is the thing that drives me? What am I interested in? Or not even if you're not interested in it, what are you curious about? What are you curious about? For example, I've always worked in community development projects. But not from the point of even understanding it the way I did through my research. So it's not like I was really, really like interested in the topic, but I think it was the curiosity that actually drove me. So it could either be that you are very interested, passionate about the topic, or you are just curious to know, okay, why, you've observed a pattern. So you're trying to understand, why is it this way? Why are things this way? Why is it happening this way? So you're trying to understand that phenomenon. So first of all, it would really be to identify what are the topics or ranges of topics that you think is a topic of interest to you, or you think it's something that has driven your curiosity, to understand why exactly is this happening? Why, does this keep happening? Or why is this a pattern? Or why, basically to understand that. So first of all is actually to try to figure out what are the things that interest you, or that you're curious about, or that you're passionate about. The next thing is really to, to just do a simple Google search. You could either do like a proper academic search, or just a simple Google search to actually know that, is this topic researchable? Are people writing about it? So say, for example, you're interested in, on disability issues, for example, or you're interested in youth unemployment or youth employability, or you're interested in renewable energy in Nigeria, like whatever the broad topic is, just do a simple Google search to understand, okay, what are people writing about? Where is the conversation going? What is in the literature? What are people talking about? And then, of course, based on your interest and what exactly you think you want to write on, it's really a process. It takes a process to figure out exactly your dissertation topic. And it's the work that you have to do, not just with yourself, but alongside your supervisor. So your supervisor will be able to help once you you meet a supervisor, you locate a supervisor within your university, or some universities it could be outside, but for most MA programs or master's programs, it has to be within your university. So when you find a supervisor, you have to find somebody that is also an expert in that line of topic, in that discipline, or in that sectoral or thematic area that you're interested in. So say, for example, I'm interested in working with people that have addiction problems. I have to contact a supervisor who has written extensively on addiction. Or say, for example, I'm interested in working on migration issues, or women migrants, for example, as a key population. So it could either be the thematic area or a key population that you're interested in. So you contact a supervisor within your university that has that experience and that has extensively worked in the field or has researched on that topic. So by having conversations with you and your supervisor, of course, you'll be able to, he or she would be able to guide you effectively on how to go about settling for a topic that is perfect for you, or a topic that is within your line of interest or curiosity or passion or scope of what you need to research on. And then, of course, you move on to the next steps with your supervisor in terms of finding the literature and coming up with a proposal that basically narrates. It could be a one-pager, like, at least, even if it's not like a full proposal, at least a synopsis that shares in 1 page or 2 what exactly you're thinking around. What do you want to do?
Okay, that's really helpful to know. So I like to take this back again to your own experience. I mean, did you already know that you were supposed to do all of this before you carried out your research, or like, did anything help? Did you already have this idea before now?
Okay, so I had always
because I'm putting.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. I think the network. Juliet, can you hear me?
Give a topic that we're interested in. Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, can you hear me? Okay, I lost you at some point.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, so I've heard that some new researchers, they've been taking courses, or many graduate students may have been taking courses before now. And all right, fine. So here now, they are now faced with getting a topic, and they're asked to submit a topic to the university or the supervisor or the department, whatever the case may be. So do you think that most of them may have gone through all of these, right? Like, I know that right now with this conversation, they would have learned that, okay, for those people that will be writing later on, they would have learned that they're supposed to do these things you have mentioned. But did you already have this idea before you even started your research? Like, did you already have this idea?
Okay, so I actually had already had an idea I had always wanted to, number one, write a dissertation during my master's. So already had an idea of what exactly to write about. What was not clear to me was really like the population of interest was not clear. The topic around community projects specifically was not clear to me. And that's where my supervisor, who is an extremely, extremely brilliant researcher and lecturer, came in very handy. So she had several scoping conversations with me, and she kept pulling, the best of me out. She kept pulling the best of me out to help me narrow down my search. I'll give a typical practical example. I wanted to research about public, private, and philanthropic partnerships, actually. And I remember when she kept asking me questions about PPPs and to research about PPPs in Nigeria, my country,
okay,
where it is very difficult for you to get procurement documents. It's very difficult for you to get procurement documents from local governments. Let's start from there. And then you are now wanting to request for PPP documentation from major projects that has government interest, private sector interest, philanthropic interest, and running into billions of dollars. I have faith in Nigeria, but I had to be realistic. So I remember when she kept, pulling, like having these conversations with me about how, like, what components of even the PPP are you interested in looking at? So, for example, if you are looking at an airport, what components within the airport are you interested in looking at? Are you interested in looking at the business, the land rights? Are you interested in looking at the community, participation that led to, to building that? Are you interested in looking at the concession process? So she kept asking me like really broad questions that made me realize that, wow, I actually picked a huge animal, like an elephant to work on, because it was quite big. So she helped me, draw down to what components of it are you interested in. So I told her I was interested in the community, like the role of the community in all of this. So from there, we had to narrow down to where I ended up in terms of community projects, which is community projects, people participation, which was my key interest. So sometimes you set out and you have these grand ideas, and the role of your supervisor is really to help you, narrow down your ideas to something very realistic, to something that you are even most interested in, and not just, the big, grand idea. And then the other thing that also really, really helped me, like, even after I figured all of this out with my supervisor, I was a little lost of how to actually go about it. Like, it's not something that I've done before at this level, and the stakes were really, really high. So that's actually where two major things blessed my research journey. One was the Academic Hive bootcamp course. I got to learn everything. I got to learn research from scratch. That's the best way to put it. I got to learn research from scratch through that course. And it felt like a hand-holding process where I got to learn everything, like every step of the way, like basically what the process was. So I got to learn that, through the Academic Hive Research bootcamp course. And then I think I'm going to talk about the second layer of things that I got to learn when I actually got into the writing and all that.
Okay, so maybe that should even take us into the writing. All right, so that should even take us into the writing. But I was even going to ask a little question, just maybe something you can just answer in a few seconds. So how did you get to know about the Academic Hive Bootcamp course? And why did you even take the course? Like, what convinced you to take the course, actually?
Okay, so two things. One, I would say is of course having the right network. So one was actually Juliet. Juliet has been a colleague in Global Shapers in the World Economic Forum. So I actually saw her post about research and posted a picture of herself and some of the things that she was doing, and I just got curious and went into her DM and then asked her about it, and then she told me more about it. And then what convinced me was actually integrity. Why? Because in Global Shapers, we actually had a project with the World Economic Forum around research, and Juliet was leading that. She was leading the research project, and I saw how she delivered it. I'm not a research person. I'm a core programs person, and core programs and strategy person. So because the research project wasn't really my area of strength, I wasn't involved in that project. But I saw how Juliet, worked with other team members who were involved in that to deliver the project. So, and then of course, generally as well, she's a person of integrity. So I knew that she wouldn't sell something that's not valid. So it was really not a hard sell for me. So I bought the course, and then I was really, really blown away by the content, the delivery, and the way it's taught, because they use a very good, I would almost say, Montessori style to teach you, the right way to understand, like an adult Montessori style to teach you the right way, to understand research. They actually broke down research such that it became very simple. For me to understand. So it was very easy for me to, to join the course, and every step of the way for some of the things that I did not know, especially around the quantitative, because I really, really struggled like with the quantitative. Even in my master's, I was really, really struggling with it. So I got to understand it and learn it, and learn it more through this course. Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. So you're talking about Juliet, people will be like, it's not the same Juliet. Anyway, that's by the way. So thank you so much for letting us know that. So let's just go deeper again into the course of writing your research. So the question still remains, what would you advise a student who is aiming at having an A? What would you advise that student to do if, like, while they are writing their research, what should they know? What should they know if they need to excel?
I think one would be number one in terms of the writing. Of course, in the writing stage, you're already back from the field, and you're faced with this huge, like in my case, this gigantic piece of data that you have to break down and make sense of it all. I think the bottom line, like the bottom line of all of this is, number one, see the research process as a learning process. That's the first objective. Like if you getting a distinction is good, is great and everything, but the first primary objective is to see the dissertation process as a learning process. Because what that does is it gives you the right objective to learn. It gives you the humility to know that you don't know it all. And it gives you the opportunity for you to source knowledge where they exist. Because we don't know it all. Like nobody knows it all. Nobody is an island of knowledge. So in the writing stage, it's good to have all this data, but to make sense of it all and be able to milk that data to generate the right results, the right outcome, the right recommendations and the conclusion and everything, and recommendations for further research. You actually need to learn. So two things I would say really helped me in the writing stage. One is actually the Academic Hive bootcamp. I remember there are several things that you learn in the Academic Hive bootcamp, but there is an amazing tool, an amazing template. I don't know if I should even say it.
No, you can go ahead.
Called the gap analysis table. That table saved my life. That template helped me to put all of the literature that I had, on it. And that table helped me from every stage of writing, from my chapter 1 to the last chapter, to my chapter 7. It helped me see the literature around my work. It helped me use the literature to defend my work. It helped me use the literature to guide, direct my work, and then show the difference and the innovation of my work in the scope of things in the literature. So I think the one big thing that helped me in the writing from day one was actually the Academic Hive bootcamp, the courses, the templates. It really helped me to be able to put down my ideas and see what was existing already in the literature and see the gaps that the literature has not covered. And that became my opportunity to launch out my own research and to launch out the rationale and the justification for why my research is necessary. And the second material that really helped me during my writing stage as well is Dr. Philippadu. Dr. Philippadu is the real deal. Like I badu for you, like Nigerians would say. Like you are the real deal. You are the real deal. I bumped into in trying to search for just how to go about, because I mean the Academic Hive bootcamp is really amazing, but I actually particularly have a learning disability, so I have to learn. I have to I'm very curious when it comes to learning and information. So I had to go the extra mile as well, beyond what I learned in Academic Hive, to look for what are other ways to go about my data analysis. Because of course, with quantitative analysis, it's very easy. You put it on SPSS and off you go. But with qualitative data analysis, there are several ways, several methods, several tools of how to go about it. And I was, of course, crunched for time. So I decided that I'm just going to go on YouTube to find I always tell everybody you can learn anything on YouTube. So I decided to take my own advice and decide to go on YouTube and, just look online to see how other people are doing, their qualitative analysis. And I bumped into this amazing doctor called Dr. Philip Adu. I bumped into his YouTube channel and I decided to watch. I actually wanted to do software analysis, which, of course, like SPSS is quick, is easy. And then I watched this guy's video and I saw how he broke down manual analysis, like manual coding, like literally just coding, analyzing, categorizing your data manually. And I fell in love. Like I fell in love with how he took time, his pedagogical skills, he took time to explain every step of the way, like step by step. And I said, you know what, I'm not doing software analysis anymore. I'm doing this manually. So I printed out all of my, my transcript. I printed out everything, color coded them. Like I followed every step of the way that, Dr. Philip Adu was explaining how to do manual coding with his on his YouTube channel. I followed it every step of the way. I color coded everything. I printed it. I pasted it all over the walls of my room. And then I started, and teasing out the details, teasing out the data from all of it, teasing out the conversations, color coded the parts I needed to cite, color coded. Like it was really, for me, it was the process of doing this, because it goes beyond just, imputing data into a software and then it generates, the results for you. But for me, it was really the process. Like it was really the process of understanding how even the software works. I needed to understand that. So I was really blessed by his YouTube channel. So I watched his video. I learned everything. I literally just studied his videos, several of his videos, how to go from, move from just having the raw data to the outcome at the end of the day. And I followed through the processes, and it was really a tedious process, I must say. It wasn't a walk in the park. It was quite tedious, but it was really worth it at the end of the day, because I got to learn a lot. I got to understand my data more. It taught me patience as well, being diligent, with bulk data, and being able to tease out all the themes, the categories, and being able to also report that and seeing how that, how all the data from the field, could be used to explain, the research results, could be used to explain the conclusion, the recommendation for further research, and also the innovation of my research. Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you so much. And I'm actually excited that we'll be having him this Sunday. Yeah, for this time around, not just manual coding, right? But that's software analysis we are running away from. Yeah, he's going to be showing us how to use the software this time around. Because, the beautiful part of software is it helps to save you research
process.
True. Yes.
True.
Well, I like the fact that being that you were aiming for a distinction, right? I mean, for you, it was about the learning process, or about the thought process. So
yes, absolutely.
Yes. So that's a good one. That's a good one, actually. So we're so excited to have Dr. Philip Adu, accepting to come on Academic Hype, and then, train us even more. Yeah. So that's going to happen on Sunday by 7 p.m. West African time. Yeah, on Zoom. Okay. A lot of people have actually registered. Yeah,
I'm actually looking forward to the course, and I would encourage anyone out there to actually register for the course, because I remember when I was doing my analyzing my data, and again, like I said, I decided to take the long road, which is doing the manual. But I know that if I actually had learned how to use the software, perhaps it would have gone faster. I wouldn't have actually spent, almost 3 weeks analyzing, manually, from just just the qualitative data set. It took me longer as compared to the quantitative. So I'm really looking forward to the course, and I'm looking forward to having Dr. Philippa live in the class with us and teaching us all of this. And I would like to say that it's absolutely important that a lot of young Africans embrace and upskill themselves in research skills. There are lots of jobs out there for people that have, the right skill sets, just to run, for example, run a qualitative analysis for someone. You can actually make a lot of money. There are lots of, job opportunities on Fiverr, on Upwork. You can actually make a lot of money, running analysis for organizations as well. People are looking for people to employ also as part of their research teams to deliver projects for their clients. So, but if you don't acquire these skills, you won't be called upon. You have to be prepared to meet up with that opportunity. So I'd like to encourage anyone that's either a student or just a professional thinking of venturing into research, that you should really, really join the Academic Hive Bootcamp course. And then you should also join us on Sunday for Dr. Philippa's session.
Yeah, in fact, that was really important to mention. Sincerely, that's really important to mention, because we're actually doing, in fact, it's a lot of good. It's a lot of good. Yeah. So, why we actually brought you up here was some persons feel like, Juliet, you're already into this for a long time, so you may not really understand our struggle. I know that, I was once in that position, but we just felt it's been nice to have someone who is coming from a more neutral background, right? Someone who is coming from the scratch, exactly, to have this. And that's why we're the best person to attend this week. Okay, so the next thing I would want you to talk about, because we are almost going to 7:30, so that we're supposed to end soon, is what do you expect an A student as well to still do after writing his or her dissertation? What should the person go on to do?
Okay, great. So what you should go on to do, of course, after submitting your dissertation, number one, give yourself a high five. Like, high five yourself very well. Take yourself out to a restaurant, eat, drink, sleep, rest, rejuvenate. Let your body, when you write a thesis, it feels like giving birth. I've never given birth before, so I don't, but if it does feel like going on a journey that, so when you get to that, that victory line, you just drop everything and celebrate, like,
I can imagine.
Like when people run at the Olympics, when they cross that finish line, they go crazy. So, seriously rest, rejuvenate, and let your brain breathe, okay? You can take 2 weeks, 1 week, 3 weeks to just relax as much as you can, watch movies, just know what is going on in the world. Watch the news if it's not too depressing like it is right now, and really rest, and let your body, and have a clear mind.
Yeah.
After that holiday period, what you need to do is start thinking of what to do with your research. One of the most brilliant things to do with your research is actually to publish. So you look at your research and see how many components, how many parts, how many lenses can I look at this research from? For example, I'll give a typical example of my own research. From the results that I already have, I can actually break my research into 5 different publications. One, I can publish it as a user participation research. I can actually publish it as a sustainability research. I can publish it as an ICT focused research, because I was actually researching on, ICT centers that were created by foreign aid. I can also publish it from a foreign aid perspective. Okay. Even the results that I have, I can break, because I did, multi-method, and I have 3 different results, 3 different data sets. I can actually publish those 3 different data sets independently. So publishing your research is very, very important. Why is it important? This is not because I want you to become an academic celebrity. No. In different fields, it's the truth. It's not for publicity. It's not for publicity reasons. It's not for PR reasons. The primary reason is because in certain fields, there is really a dearth of literature. There's really a lack of literature in certain fields, and I'll give you very practical examples. In the fields of sustainability, project sustainability. When I mean sustainability, I'm not talking about environmental sustainability. I'm not even talking about social sustainability. I'm not talking about environmental sustainability, which is, or business sustainability, which is actually business continuity for people in business and marketing, or the MBAs. I'm talking about project sustainability, community project sustainability. There's really very few literature available. And the next sector where there is very little literature available is also the area of user participation in community development projects. There is heavy literature. In fact, a whole world of literature available on user participation in ICTs. When I mean ICTs, I'm specifically talking about user participation for tech companies to build products like the Facebook, like the Zoom, like the different functionality you see on Zoom, on Instagram every day, Instagram story, watch parties, this one. All those products are created based on user participation. Most of the apps we all use, all of them are created based on user participation, user groups designing with the technology companies and the technology teams. Okay, so there's heavy literature on that, but there's very limited literature on user participation of people in development projects and even within foreign aid funded development projects. If you want to look at other topics like, for example, youth employment or youth employability in Africa, I'm not even saying in Nigeria. Even the other topics as well, if you want to look at it within Africa, it's very few literature. So something like even youth, employment, that is a critical issue, like a pressing issue, a pressing need in the continent, there is very limited literature. And the last one that I'll close with, if you look for literature around people with disabilities, social inclusion of people with disabilities, whether across physical infrastructure, or you're looking at social inclusion in terms of participation as well in decision making, there's literally no literature. What you would find are evaluation reports. So it is very important that researchers publish their research, because what you're doing is you're contributing to the conversation that's available. So right now, I'm also in that process currently. I'm in that third stage of trying to get my research out there. So it's important that we publish, because it helps to contribute to the conversation. It helps to bring innovation to the field. Like in my research, I also brought some innovation into the field of project management, not just for the business management side, but also from the project management side of community projects and foreign aid and philanthropy, philanthropy. So it's really important that we publish, because it helps to drive the conversation. It helps to, to bring in new ideas and new processes, new methodology of how things are done in the field.
That's interesting. Thank you so much, Esther. In fact, this was really almost 1 hour of detailed conversation, detailed explanation. I particularly love that you try to make this as practical as possible using your own experience. That's really amazing, and that's what we encourage at Academic Hive, where researchers are able to share their research journey with other people to inspire them and motivate them and teach them on what to do, so that we can, reduce the risk of making a lot of mistakes, in the process of doing our research. So that's really amazing. Yeah, and so you've heard us right now. If you're joining this live session right now on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you go through the YouTube channel, you'll find that there are really other amazing videos there. Something that Academic Hive has always promised to do, and we've tried to keep to from inception, is to make sure that we keep bringing innovative ways of researching. We keep helping as many young people as possible, as many new researchers, early career researchers as possible, to see how to have fun while researching. And that's something that characterizes our research bootcamp course. You can find our research bootcamp course on our learning management system. You just go to learn.academichive.com/courses. learn.academichive.com/courses, and then you can find it. I think I can showcase the research bootcamp here. Let me see if I can quickly share it as a new screen share so that we just, okay, yeah, I'm able to do that. Okay. So this is it. You just come to learn.academichive.com/courses, and then you find the research bootcamp course. So the course is about research writing. It teaches you data analysis with modern softwares, publishing hacks, how to access research funding. In there, you find videos, lecture notes, presentation templates. You heard Esther already when she said she was really intrigued by the okay. So I'm going to actually drop it in the comment section, actually. So you heard Esther, she said she was really intrigued by the templates she was able to find there on the bootcamp course as well. So that's something that we should take advantage of. If you're a new researcher and you're looking forward to acing your dissertation, then that's something that you should really, really, really consider. And then coming up on Sunday, I don't know why I get so excited when I think of Sunday. So I get so excited because I'm so happy that finally we'll be having Dr. Philip Adu, coming to teach us how to, let me see if I can share that flyer right now, right here. So we'll be having him coming to teach us how to use in vivo to code qualitative data. So yes, we can do a lot of manual coding, and like Esther has testified already, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, sincerely. Yeah, while it's interesting to learn, you don't want to spend so much time trying to, analyze a whole lot of things when you can actually make use of qualitative data. So this is it. This is a flyer. It's coming up on Sunday. A lot of people have registered, and we are so impressed by the number of persons who are joining in this session. We are really, really impressed. Yes. So this is coding qualitative data with in vivo. Or is it en vivo? I don't know how to pronounce it actually, but I've been pronouncing it in vivo for a while. So it may be en vivo. So if you join that, if you come in and you join that workshop on Sunday, I mean, this is a real hands-on workshop. This is Dr. Philip Adu taking you from point A to point Z, step by step. It's a hands-on workshop. So some persons who have already registered can testify that they've gotten the workshop materials already, because we need to prepare in advance for that workshop. So you'll be learning how to work with real data. You're going to be learning how to use the in vivo software, how to code qualitative data, the different types of coding, how to do word cloud, this word cloud thing. Yeah, you're going to be learning how to do that, how to analyze videos, different types of qualitative data actually. And yeah, a beautiful thing again is there's going to be a certificate of participation for this, because this is not just some lecture. This is not going to be some lecture. So it's a real workshop, and you should have evidence of attending this workshop. You can't come in, attend this workshop, and then you just go with nothing to show for it. So there's going to be a certificate of participation to that effect. And we'll be sharing some exclusive grant opportunities as well for people who are interested in going into qualitative research, as well as opening up the window for one-on-one professional support. All right, so that's on March 20, 2022, this Sunday, 7 to 9 p.m. GMT +1, that's West African time. So please give us a date, and we hope that this session has been insightful. Let us know what you think about it in the comment section. So let's know what you think about it in the comment section. Please subscribe and share this video to any struggling researcher you may know. to just share with them and tell them that, hey, this was Esther. Once upon a time, she was struggling with her research. But hey, she got, what was that again? I know it's over 90, but what's the actual score again, Esther? Do you want to remind us?
94.
Wow, 94. Oh my goodness. I'm still trying to get over this, sincerely. Okay, so I don't know if I'm being dramatic, but it's really exciting, actually. All right, so thank you all for keeping a date with us. We look forward to having you on Sunday. Sunday is the real deal. I can't wait for Sunday. In fact, on Sunday, my phone will be off because I'm not going to have anybody disturb me on Sunday. So thank you so much, Esther. Thank you, and thank you for coming on this live session with us. We really appreciate the time that you spent for this. So thank you so much. If you have any question for us, please let us know in the comment section. I'm going to share the link to the workshop coming up on Sunday in the comment section, as well as the link to the bootcamp where you can access it. It's going to be in the comment section. So thank you again, and have a great evening. Love you. Bye.